As a child, we all long for a hero. As a society as a whole, we search for that leader that can be our hero. But as we mature and as we grow, it dawned on us that the hero is inside every one of us. And in the world's social media, we all start at zero. And slowly we search deep within ourselves to find who we are. And we have that moment of truth where we embrace that the hero that we've been searching for has been there all along. It is living deep inside of every one of us. And we start embracing that journey and we become that hero that we search for.
Hello.
That just got me in the feels there. Kevin, such a great speaker. Goodness.
Yeah, I was listening to it too and kind of getting drawn into what he was saying, and then all of a sudden it's like, go time. So let me introduce this here real quick. It's episode 10 of Zero to Hero. Hello, everybody across LinkedIn, Facebook, and LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. So we're actually streaming live on all of our channels right now. I have the amazing Nico De Bruyn. Did I say that right?
It's De Bruyn, but very, very close.
De Bruyn. Okay, well, I like that better, actually. Anyway, he is with Boundless Media. This is I've known him or known of him for quite some time. It's my first time actually meeting him in person. He's very active here on the LinkedIn platform. And so, Nico, I'm going to go ahead and let you tell us more about yourself.
All right, I mean, I can't really beat that introduction, so we'll have to try. But yeah, long story short, my name is Nico De Bruyn. I am actually the founder of Boundless Media and then an author of this little book right here called We're All Marketers. Very simply put, me, Kevin, Jen, I think all of us are just on a world mission to free up stories. There's so many great stories out there, and it's our jobs to help get that out into the world, especially using social media. And that's what I focus on. So when I work with clients, that's all I really do is they just have such great stories. And Jen, you probably have 20 clients that come to your mind where you're like, wow, that founder was so amazing. The world should definitely know about what they do. So in a little nutshell, author, entrepreneur, agency owner, and on a mission to leave every single person I meet better than I found them. That's me.
Well, and that kind of sums up our show right there. So that was an awesome show. So talking about, so zero basically means that it's when we're born. Like we start out at zero. In business, we start out at zero. In social media, we start out at zero. And the hero part kind of is how we affect people's life. And so you pretty much just summed it up. So that was awesome. Thank you so much. No, I'm just joking. So we're going to go a little bit deeper here with you because this is me getting to know you as well. So in a couple sentences, give me an elevator pitch about you. So who are you? Like as an individual, even apart from business, who's Nico?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many elements you can go with this, and thank goodness, like I didn't know about this question, but I've thought about it the last couple of days specifically. But really, I am an immigrant from South Africa. Moved here when I was 12 years old. My parents have been super supportive my whole life, but I convinced myself that the only way to success is through healthcare, and I needed to actually go into college when I became a doctor to realize that that's not for me. I was using medicine as a vehicle to helping people, yet it was the wrong vehicle. Like, listen, like long story short, there's cars for all things. If you need a Toyota versus if you need a Ford Explorer, like those are two different cars. But I was just in the wrong industry. So after direct messaging dozens of CEOs throughout the nation, one would teach me something and something and something. I eventually culminated into this world of marketing. So long story short, immigrant to failed doctor to now successful marketer. That's kind of the route.
I love that. That is awesome. I actually didn't know that about you. So if you mentioned, the immigrant and the doctor. So if you've mentioned that, I apologize. I
No,
missed it, but that is a wonderful story. And now I see why you and Kevin get along so well. Because he was the immigrant and then thought about being a doctor and kind of went for that at first. So that's really cool. In fact, Kevin is on here right now. He said, good to see you, Nico.
What a great guy. But I mean, it's absolutely true. And that's why I actually really like the world of marketing, because frankly, there's no this happened, and then I got successful. Perfect with zero to hero. There's no one route for everyone to take.
Right.
So I love hearing about, founders or people in a career. It doesn't matter who, because you didn't, there was an accident that happened for you to be where you are today.
Right.
You failed a little bit, then you didn't, and now we're here. So yeah, it's and just because I'm an immigrant doesn't mean you can't be successful if you're not an immigrant. There's different worlds and different stories, but absolutely there is a little commonality with immigrants.
Well, see, for me, it's like you're saying, it's not about being an immigrant. I just find that very cool personally. But it's about from wherever you are in the world, your life is happening right now. And everybody, no matter who you are, starts at zero. And some are still kind of in the middle of that journey, but there is a hero in every single one of us, Nico. And that's something that, that I love being on this show and drawing out of each person, because we all affect somebody's life. Like, for example, your message on LinkedIn is going to touch somebody. And I'm sure that you've had a lot of people reach out to you at different times and say, man, I really love your message. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing that. Or what you said has really helped me through the day, or what you said is really helping me with my business. And so, I mean, we all have some impact at some level.
Absolutely.
So,
and it's just on that point. It's just because you're, there's so many different ways of phrasing it, but like and that's why the book is called We're All Marketers. And that's why I really live my life through the fact that everyone, I think, should be on social media and actively in there, is for that exact same reason. Like, just because I have a different story, or I have a very similar story and message to different, let me rephrase. I have a very similar story. I have to get this right. This is a meaningful thing I must say.
No, it's okay.
Like, just because I have a very similar story to someone else, the way I might be articulating it, or the fashion, or the fact that I'm a little younger than the average person on this platform, there's so many elements that goes into this, so that even if it's the same message of be more active, whatever that means for you, the context that you can strike people in, someone might hear that, I'm a failed doctor, and they might resonate with that. Maybe immigrant, they might resonate with that. So absolutely, that's a power we all have. That's a nice thing. You don't have to be a PhD in neuroscience to have this thing. If you have an internet connection and you can upload pictures, videos, and text, you're there. You won.
You're the boss. You're the man. You're the man. You're the boss. Yes. And it helps you also just really put your personality out there and who you are. And I think that, each person resonates with different audiences. And but sometimes we can be boundless and go across a lot of audiences. Yeah. Sometimes it's not measurable. A lot of people can connect in many different ways, like you said. So, that was awesome. Well, please, please. Yeah, I'm just reflecting here in my mind, which I tend to do on this show a lot. I get caught up in people's answers, and I'm just like, wow, that was really good, and then I'll have people say, oh, why do you always stop? And I'm just like, because that was such a good answer. And that's just, you just got to take it in. So please tell us about your social media journey. So since you are actually Boundless Media, you're in that industry. What does that look like for you when you first started out? Like, where did you start?
Oh, terribly. So I got my start on, much like anyone else, in high school. I had a Twitter account, a Facebook, an Instagram, But I really didn't start it until February 18, 2017, when I committed. I heard Gary Vee. I heard that he said, be posting your journey, sharing your content. And I filmed my very first video. It was atrocious. And I never posted it. It wasn't until I think August of the same year, so almost 6 months later, that I actually posted a video. But I had a huge gap between that, and then I got started on a very, very blip platform called Vero. Most people don't remember it or have ever heard of it, but it was going to be the next Instagram, and I invested a lot of time there. Then I moved into Instagram when that Vero kind of died. Didn't actually find, because I was a motivational guy. I was a marketing business guy, yet there was a lot of people with the same message on Instagram that were peddling different types of business and long story short, stuff I just didn't agree with, the get rich quick schemes. And then finally, my friend Mark Metry actually introduced me to the LinkedIn world. And then I started posting every single day in October of 2018. And I've been posting at least 5 to 10 times a day since then. So very like ebbs and flows, but, finding that very first, moment of confidence to shoot a video to now, having a system that can create 30 pieces of content a day. It's been a roller coaster. I wouldn't trade it for anything, but there's questions or whatnot you might have about that. But it's been one hell of a journey. Let me just say that.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, I'm impressed right now because for me to post 1 or 2 times a day, that's enjoyable. But it's still like finding that time to sit down and do it, even if it's in the bathroom, just sitting there trying to get your thoughts out onto LinkedIn that you can share with other people 5 or 10 times a day. How do you do that? How do you do that?
That's for LinkedIn. I still do, 3 to 10 times on TikTok. I do Facebook, Instagram Reels. So I do a lot, but I mean, that's actually one of the problems that most people have is they sit down and say, I'm going to make content. Yes, so if I say, Jen, make me a piece of content right now, you're going to be like, I can talk about anything. Talking about how much I love Kevin. I can talk about why did I get Nico on the show. But if I asked you a very specific question like, Jen, what gets you most excited about posting on LinkedIn? Instantly, I just took this world of every single possibility that you have, and I've narrowed it down.
I knew immediately.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I teach people, and that's what we do for clients is I just take the guesswork out of it. I just go towards your audience. And this is something you can do right now. You should make a post that says, what do you guys want to see from me? Just ask your audience. I've gotten some of the best content that's gone viral from just asking my audience. Otherwise, I use platforms like Quora. I use, the search mechanism almost every day to find what people are talking about. If they have questions, I scroll on the comment section of YouTube on popular videos to see what people are asking. And then I take this huge world and just narrow it down to one thing. Then it's very simple for me to shoot a video and post it. And then take that video and post it on Instagram Reels and post it on LinkedIn Stories. And then from one piece of content, I'm really able to get 6 or 7 pieces out of it. And the second tip is create every day. Like, are you going to see results from doing one set of push-ups? No. But if you do that consistently every single day. I
don't know. No, I'm just joking.
You'll appreciate this. You'll appreciate this.
Yes, I love it. No, I agree with you.
If you, and this is the biggest tip I have for anyone, what's the ROI of you brushing your teeth this morning? There's no tangible ROI. You say, I can skip the mornings. But what if you continuously don't brush your teeth? Then you see some results. So it's just getting back in, it's just getting the habit of creating. And once you have it as a habit, just keeping it going. So really just answer questions. That's really all. I mean, we can have shows like this, but even this show is based on Nico, answer this question. So there's no guesswork. Even, if you take in the beginning of Nico, introduce yourself, I had some hesitation and I finally figured my way out. But I'm much more concise with the way I'm answering these questions because they're targeted. So just get targeted.
So answer that question that you just asked me then. Like, what is your, I'm trying to remember how you phrased it, but it was like, what is your reason for posting on LinkedIn?
Yeah.
What is yours? Yeah.
Very simply, the LinkedIn, any social media platform, again, this is specific to LinkedIn because I'm in the B2B space, much like you and Kevin. But regardless of platform or anything, this advice works if you have an idea for a business, if you have if you're really, really excited about Joe Biden and you really want him to win, if you want to share those thoughts, maybe that you're really big on promoting climate or ways to reduce climate change, whatever that thing is, right? The networking events, especially in COVID, are gone. You can't meet like-minded people. You can't meet decision makers. You can't meet these individuals by going to events. What you can do is create content, i.e. messages, your thoughts, your opinions, your way of seeing the world, and you can put them on platforms that's a 24/7 networking event. So instead of you being isolated to networking event in the southern part of Kansas City, you can now have a global audience to where
that's true.
Maybe 2 connections down the line, someone sees that and says, hey, we have we saw that you're really big in food insecurity and helping people stay fed. We actually are closing down our shop and we have these 3 machines to make bread. Can we donate that to you? Or do you want to rent them out? Or if you clean the floors, you can use them at night, whatever that is. Now you can actually take that thought, that thing that you wanted to happen, and you can put it into something tangible. You can actually achieve the goal that you want. So that's why I'm on LinkedIn. I drive business for me, my clients. I meet awesome people like you and Kevin. And like I can't wait for COVID to be done and me to come visit. Like this is real world. This is the real world stuff. So that's why I post, because what's the harm? Like, let's play this back. What's stopping you from posting? Usually people are like, because people might think I'm dumb. Okay, but if people think you're dumb, it's just like that friend in high school that you're just friends because they're in the same high school, and once you go to college, you'll never see them again.
Right.
Just unfollow that person. I've had people say that you post too much, and I say, listen, I totally understand it. You should just unfollow me. I would recommend blocking me. Not feelings, like, it happens.
That's awesome. Yeah.
On TikTok, I do it too.
Yeah.
On my Prime, I was doing 10 to 15 videos a day, and so people are like, "You post too much." I'm like, "Unfollow me. I'm sorry. Like, I can't stop being me."
Exactly. I actually had that experience recently with a family member, who was like, I just don't like that you're posting this type of stuff, and it's just not right or whatever. And I'm like, but I really believe in this. Like, this is who I am, and this is my personal social media account. And I'm like, look, I love you, but there's an unfollow button. We can still be friends even on this, on social media. But I understand if you feel that way. I don't feel bad, but you can't tell me how to post. That's my personal social media. I'm sharing who I am, and I can't stop being me. So I absolutely agree with that. And I'm beginning to see why Boundless fits you very well. I think that is a great way to define who Nico is and what you do and what you're out to accomplish. So I actually like that a lot. I had to just say that real quick here.
Oh, thank you. I'll be very transparent. Naming businesses is by far my least favorite thing to do. I'm actually, of course, the normal person doesn't have one thing they're focused on. So I'm a equity holder in other companies, and naming companies is the worst. But I just getting URLs. That's why like the websites get Boundless Media, because like Boundless Media was like $12,000. I was like, there's no way I'm not paying that.
Wow.
If you are able to get a very simple name, .com or .io or whatever, good for you. But yeah, I mean, just to your point, and just huge things, like that's just how I see the world. There's just boundless opportunity everywhere. So.
Right. Well, you're going to make it because of that for sure. And Yes, that Gary V, like you mentioned his name, and I'm like, he is definitely a true influencer. He
Oh,
is definitely
absolutely.
a true influencer. And I think that he's got a lot of people started on a different type of journey of posting, of finding who they are, of going after their dreams. I know that in the past, I followed him a lot, and yeah, I really admire him. He's got a great story.
Oh,
He has a great story. And he's done that consistent stuff, of posting or doing it even when no one's watching, or whether people liked him or not, or whether they agreed with how he was doing it or not. So I just wanted to bring that in too, because I have a lot of respect for him. So
Oh, absolutely.
so every superhero has a defining moment. What is yours? And when it comes to like your life and career, what's your defining moment, Nico?
I just number one love that the team is so proactive. By the way, guys, this is one of the most well-oiled interviews and machines I've seen. So props to the team in the back who are doing all these because I'm impressed. Because I was like, oh my goodness, she's really good typing all that stuff, and I was like, I think it's the team. But anyway, so what is it? So I'm just sorry. We're gonna wait for it to come one more time. Every super has a definition. Okay, so
Has a defining moment. So that moment where you're just like, this is who I am, or it changed my life and this is what I'm going to do when it comes to your life and when it comes to your career, which you've shared a little bit, but I would love to know.
To be different, I'm going to tell you there's two that stand out in my mind, and I'm going to not choose one. One
That's okay. I want them both.
Good. So like I said, immigrant from South Africa in the beginning of in June of 2017, we flew back to South Africa, and it's a tremendously long flight because we flew from here to London, or Phoenix to New York to London to South Africa, right? Pretoria in South Africa. Very long. And I'm at Barnes & Noble's. I'm not really a reader at this point. And again, this is as I'm starting to question what will happen actually later in the story. Question my love for healthcare and nutrition and all that fun stuff. And I'm at Barnes & Noble's, got a couple dollars. And looking, I'm like, wow, this book has money on it. I like money, so I'm going to get it. That book actually is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And I read it cover to cover on that flight because I just couldn't put it down. And it got me questioning so much about, it was the perfect book for the time. And I still read it.
And what was that title again?
Yeah, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Think and Grow Rich.
Okay, go ahead.
We're going to do this because this is the live show, right?
Okay.
So as you can see, has money everywhere around it, right?
Think and grow. Okay, gotcha.
Grow Rich. Yeah.
Think and grow.
So I read the book, and it's a Napoleon Hill, fantastic personal development guy. He worked under Carnegie. Overall, just a really, really great book. But I read it cover to cover, and it really got me thinking. I'm like, that's where I started realizing that I was using healthcare as a vehicle to help people. But really, I would hate 80% of my job because that would be paperwork, research, blah, blah, blah. I would only interact with people about 20% of the time.
Right.
And I feel like if I'm going to hate 80% of my job, regardless of how much money I'm going to make, is that worth it? And I was like, for me, no, it just wasn't, right? So that thought and process went with me until September of 2017, where the second defining moment happened, where I'm sitting in class, and that's when I started getting hooked on Gary Vee, and I, at this point, was making some money on the side selling used Apple MacBook boxes, not the MacBooks themselves, but the boxes that they were in. And I was making $200, $300, $400 a month from it. And I realized, I'm like, what I'm doing is entrepreneurship. All I'm doing is finding a product, a service, a solution in the marketplace, and I'm fulfilling it. Am I using, anything different? No, there's SEO on the platform that I'm using. The copywriting is a little bit better than the average person. The way I take pictures and everything, I'm like, this is called marketing. This is what Gary Vee does for a living.
Right.
Maybe I can go do that. And that second defining moment led me to asking all the successful people I could. The fourth level in charge of VaynerMedia, his name was Steve Babcock. He was the old chief creative officer.
Mhm.
So it was Gary, and then two other people, and then it was Steve Babcock. He was one of the first people I interviewed for my book, and then that just cascaded into understanding that, wow, I actually love telling stories. I love helping people. I just love people, and I can make a career out of being a marketer and entrepreneur.
That's awesome. I have to say I identify with what you're saying, because that is part of why we do what we do. It is about people. Everything is about people. I think people struggle if they don't have that desire to be around people, with a lot of industries, because pretty much everything you do has to do with people. A lot of what we do has to do with people. And so I think that's interesting, because I actually at one point in my life was almost, I was to the point where I was getting ready to go into a dental hygienist program. And I stopped because somebody asked me and really made me think about it. And I feel that like that's what this book did for you, is I just stopped and went, wait a minute. I love being with people. And they would be stuck in the chair and have to listen to me. So I would get to do a lot of talking and just, really speak into people's lives. But do I want to be standing for 8 hours a day over people's mouth, cleaning those teeth? No, I really don't. It's just not worth it. I have to, because it takes a lot of study. And that's what people told me is, hey, this takes a lot of study, a lot of dedication. I was newly married. So do you want to be away from your husband so that you can are you that passionate that you're going to sacrifice? So I really hear what you're saying.
Yeah. It's such a simple question. Like, do you actually like, or do you actually want to do the thing that you're in? Like, it's so remarkably simple. But if you were to ask me that, when I first got into college, I would have been like, yeah, probably. But like, once you really sit there and think about it, you'd be like, wow, this is actually not what or the opposite. You're like, wow, I really want to do it. So just a very simple thought process. But you're right. Sometimes it has to come from someone else.
It just sometimes that people just make you think, and I think it's really good that you're sitting in this class, you're in the middle of something else, but your mind and your heart keeps going toward a different direction and is starting to develop a passion.
Yep.
And for you to go and like actually ask people that are in different industries or that you respect or that are older or more experienced and say, hey, what about this? Like, should I be doing this? I just think that that's amazing. That's amazing that you did that, because for you to take that leap and say, okay, this is going to change the path of my life. I'm no longer going to go this way. I'm going to help people this way. And you can tell you love it.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I just want to give you a big props because you're making it sound a lot more elegant that I had this idea, but really it was out of pure fear. Like I was getting, so I went to change my major from nutrition to business, figured that I would have to be in school for 3 more years. That was at a time where I had about a year and a half or a year left in school. So it was like a year versus 3 years. I'm going to go with the year. And it was just like, how do I learn what every single person in college knows about marketing in a condensed 1-year process? And that's where I went with the Pareto's principle. I was like, what's that 20% that can get me 80% of the outcome? And then I was like, okay, well, let's just keep it very simple. If I ask 20 people and, they give me 80%, I'll just get this huge, knowledge base that I can then use to get a job as a marketer. So that's what I did. I've never, and this is one thing I tell everyone to do. I told some friends that were writing books yesterday, this very thing. I'm like, just ask the person. Like no one, we have this fear of reaching out to people when the worst that they can do is not see it or not respond. Like there's a couple of companies that have now, been acquired that I helped because I just sent the CEO a message and said, I want to work for you for free. Just teach me how to do it. And he's like, no one ever reaches this out to me. And I'm like, well, it's not because I'm smarter. It's just because I'm like, well, it's going to have to get approved by him anyway. So let's just ask him.
Yeah. You're not afraid to do it.
Oh, it's definitely are. But I'm like, life says I have a year left. Like, I need a job after college, right? I can't just,
Right.
at that time, I was like, I need a job. So yeah, but it's very simple. Just ask people and then actually take the advice or instructions that they give you.
Exactly. Well, I think that's what I would call courage. So courage is you still do what you want to do, or you still do what you feel you should do in the midst of feeling afraid.
I love that.
So you didn't let that stop you. Let's just say that. And I've heard, I mean, most people would say, if you want to work for me for free, why would I say no to that? But yeah, you're getting to learn at the same time. So that's awesome. So I'm actually curious about one thing before we move to the next question. Why, I'm trying to think how I want to word this. How did you come across Gary Vee in the midst of med school? And the reason I ask that is because a lot of people know Gary Vee, but it's mostly people that are in the social media or marketing industry. And so where did you come across him? I'm just curious.
Yeah, definitely Instagram. So I was actually I lied. It was through YouTube, because at this time, I was going down this Napoleon Hill craze, and that led me to, I wouldn't say older people, but people that were very successful in the 50s and 60s and 70s, like Zig Ziglar. And I was like, okay, well, these are really experienced people that have really good foundations. But now I'm getting this knowledge of marketing. Who are marketing people that I can see? So my suggested one, it was so funny. My YouTube was so boring. It was EDM music, because I love EDM, electronic dance music. Then there was motivational videos, and then there was business videos. So I started listening to people like Patrick Bet-David, and I was like, he's good, but like, that's insurance based. And then just happened to see this guy Gary Vee, one of his little motivational clips, and it was like, just get off your ass and do it. And it hurt. I was like, he doesn't even know me. Like, why are you yelling at me? So I, to be spiteful, I watched a ton of his videos. Like, screw this guy. Like, he doesn't even know me. And eventually, I started listening to social media feedback, and I was like, oh, you're right. I'm not posting. And this is the point where I was like, I was committed to like wanting to do something. And I was like, Gary, I hear you. I should be posting. And, that's when February came around. I wasn't. And I was just like, he's calling me on my BS. So definitely. And then he just kind of stuck with me. I still listen to his podcast. I don't know if you see, I have actually someone's like, it's a shrine. It's not. But I have his baseball cards up there. I have 2 bottles of empathy wine, baseball cards, t-shirt, limited run t-shirts that he had, a Mug Life.
Any shoes?
What's up?
You got any of his shoes?
Man. I know. I'm not opportunistic guy. Like, I don't bet in the stock market. I have a very basic idea where I just buy ETFs. But like, I'll be honest, knowing what I know now, when he drops something new, I'm going to be first in line to do it. That's what I did with baseball cards and empathy wine. So I just can't. Awesome. Immigrant in me is like, I'm not going to pay more than what someone else pays.
No, I don't. No, I don't blame you. But that just means that kind of goes back to your defining moment where that was part of what influenced your life.
Yeah.
And so I was just curious. I was like, how are you in med school and came across that guy, But yes, he is he's very motivational, and there's no excuses for it. So,
absolutely.
All right. Well, what are attributes for you that define a hero? How would you define a hero?
Oh, that's a really good question. Well, I think personally, heroes take so many forms, and it's hard to narrow down to specific things. But what you said earlier about courage definitely is standing up. There's been numerous people in my life that have definitely gone on a whim and it took courage for them to hire me in my first marketing job. It took courage for my first clients to go with me, even though it was like I was unproven.
Right.
So I think I definitely have to go with courage. Hunger. So if you are hungry for whatever the thing is that you're passionate about, you're going to work harder, and frankly, in my opinion, you're going to get much further by just having this drive, whatever that passion thing is for you. If I were to have a successful exit today, I'd probably take a day or two off and then be back and building businesses and doing marketing. Like I'm so at bliss with what I do that, in my opinion, like if the hunger won't go away, even if I have an exit. That's just how I've always been, but that's just how I'm wired today. So I think
or an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I mean it's just so fun. I bet that's you and Kevin, I don't know what the rules are at home, but I bet you guys still talk about business ideas, and especially being in marketing, you have I think, and this is selfish for everyone, I think marketing is one of the best industries to be in because you get to kind of taste so many
everything. Yes.
I've learned in the last year, I've learned more about the real estate industry, the industrial cleaning industry, the PPE space, the SaaS world. Like Tim Ferriss is a great example, right? He interviews all these people. Now that's fantastic, and the top 1% can get paid and just do that. But for me, the other equations, now I actually get to do work for these people and learn at the same time. So courage, hunger, and then it probably has to boil down to ethics. Like there's a reason I tell people not to quote unquote sell out to be an influencer for a brand that they don't believe in, that stuff that they don't use or would never use in that context, right? And I think in this world, like this interview, I can't wait for my kids to see it in 30, 40, 50 years. Like that excites me. I just want them to know that I've always been this person that, if I mess up, when I mess up, that was because I'm human, but I never want to mess up because I compromise my ethics. If I made a bad bet and I lost a ton of money, that's okay. But if I did the same thing, lost, and it was unethical about the process or whatever, that would destroy me. And I just live by the nice thing is I live my life as if I was being videographed or photographed or had a camera strapped in my eyes every single day. Like because I think if you live by that, you just do things that are really true to who you are. So
I think that goes kind of along with good character as well, because good character or integrity, as Kevin and I talk about a lot, is something that you do when no one is watching.
Absolutely.
So you might do the right thing if someone's looking right at your face, but would you do the right thing if no one else is around?
Yeah, I mean, just not to throw in one thing, but transparency, right? Like it's there's a reason that I tell people, when they ask like, where are you filming from? I'm filming from my parents' room, my parents' house, because I'm saving up. That's why I get to invest in all these businesses and have my own companies, because low overhead, right? So just being ethical about it, not trying to BS anyone.
Most people would say, "Wow, that's really smart." I mean, if you're educated, you're gonna be like, "Man, that guy is,"
Hey, listen, I still have people who talk bad about it, and it used to get on my skin, but I paid off $37,000 worth of college debt and my car last year. Like, and I only had, my job was paying me, just under 60. So like, I'm say what you want. Like I have zero debt, which is fantastic. It's all net profit from here. So,
you're gonna have a good life, Nico. I mean, I'm sure you do already, but you're setting yourself up for success. So, I don't know who could complain about that. I mean, I guess they're have freedom of speech to complain, but it's not their life,
It's the unfollower mentality. It's like, I mean, you're not really gonna get under my skin for that anymore. So unfollow yourself from my life, I guess.
Exactly.
But yeah, those are the three big ones.
Here's
really.
the door. Just step out. Go ahead.
Virtual door, free to go. But yeah, those are the three big ones. I mean, courage, hunger, and just ethics, being ethical. So
Very good. Very good. Well, I think that those are definitely, a lot of the superhero, quote unquote, that I think about definitely have the courage aspect, definitely have the ethics aspect if they're, good. And they hunger to help people. They feel like it is absolutely their obligation. But also they had, like, for example, Superman, you can tell he has a good heart. He wants to help people. He feels bad if he has that power and he doesn't go out and do it.
Yep.
So I think that those are definitely three very important things, and yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. So if you had to pick a superhero that best relates to you, who would that be and why?
Ooh, very good question. Very, very good question.
And my understanding, I was just going to say one more thing.
Yeah,
my understanding of superheroes, and I need to actually go back and look at the history of it, but a lot of them were created during wars. When people were fall on hard times and they're looking for that hero. And that's kind of why this show was created. So anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's a very good question. For some reason, the first one that really came to mind was Thor, but I was thinking about it. I'm like, no, I don't think so. I think, listen, like he's got the hair, right? He's got the golden lock. Little wave.
Oh, no. I'm thinking Thanos. Never mind. I don't know why I did that. I know who Thor is. Oh my gosh, my brain. Seriously.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
I think that's really, if I had to pick one, I think we're all super, hashtag we're all super. But yeah, I think Captain America, I just, have to. Number one, I'm a huge fan. Like, I'm a diehard, so I became a U.S. citizen last year. It's the biggest gift I can ever. It's hard to like ask for birthday presents or, number one, because people hate getting me gifts because I don't really like gifts. But my parents giving me the opportunity to have a green card and then become a citizen. It's just like, I'm such a diehard USA fan.
That's awesome.
It's just like I can't shake that. But also just the fact of like being selfless, helping people, having fun at it. So I would definitely say someone like Captain America. I'm very curious who you think you would be, because I haven't heard this question before.
Who I think I would be. I think the first one that comes to mind is Wonder Woman. Because I've never been asked this before, so thank you, Nico. I mean, I was like, oh my. I think bravery is one of my attributes that in the situation of if no one else will do it, I will. So when she stepped out of the hole and walked across there and took all of the bullets, of course she was capable of it, but I'm just meaning that personality of, well, this is the right thing to do, and if no one else is going to do it, then I'll step up and lead. So that's how I see myself.
I love that.
If I don't have anything else, I know I have that attribute. So, yes.
Oh, I can tell, and you're super kind, so you can't shake that.
Thank you. Yes, I guess the actress in the movie is, she's very kind, very kind.
That's
so,
awesome.
Yeah, good question.
You're right. That's a fantastic question.
I know. I've never been asked. I just always ask other people that, so I've never been asked that.
You gotta mix it up, right? This is You're the Hero show. Unexpected things happen. You gotta, and just like marketing, the same thing. Like, you gotta change and pivot and move on if your plans aren't working. So, and adjust to opportunities. So,
well, I can definitely see you. I think Captain America fits you very well, and this will be your first year to vote, right?
This is yes. That is such a blessing. Such a blessing. It's one of those things, like, that's why this is like, I mean, most people are like, Nico, you're not missing out on anything, but like, can't wait for my first jury duty. Like, how great, like we just live in a world where it is, and I get it. I'm not saying that anyone is better or anything, but just the fact that like we have this opportunity to be part of the impact that we want to see of the world, whether that's through voting, whether that's through jury duty, whether it's through everything. I think, and I've seen it net that so many people are in it just to help people, whether you're marketing or business or nonprofit or, you know, stay home father or mother. You know, there's just so much good out there. So it's easy to overlook it because of all the, we're living that. I mean, there's no question. Like you turn on the news, 100,000 more people got infected. 2,000 died. I've definitely felt it the last couple of weeks too, just like feeling like bogged down because of the negativity. But it's actually a lot of good out there.
There's Captain America, because he is. When I think about him, I think about positivity. Everything is doable. It's boundless, and he is very positive. Am I right? I feel like he's very positive in every situation.
It's true. Plus, like I love that you're plugging the boundless mindset. It's he has a boundless mindset. Like he feels he can do anything. I mean, I can conquer anything. Absolutely.
I think that's the overall mindset of the US, is like, we got this.
Oh, absolutely. Something goes wrong, we'll figure out how to fix it. So
yes, I just wish we had that. Maybe we do. It's hidden somewhere, that shield that you throw out and it knocks your enemy down. We need that.
That would be nice. It would be bad. I would definitely misuse it
though. Okay, so tell me more about your book, and let's share with our audience how that they can plug into you and Boundless Media. Which platforms are you on? How do they find you? Give me the scope.
Give you the 411. Very simply, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, all underneath the username Nico De Bruyn. Thank goodness it's not like a John Smith. So usually you just type this in and I will see one of my bright and shining face there.
That's not Nico Smith. It's Nico De Bruyn.
It's not Nico Smith. Even Nico Smith would be a little bit unique. Or send me an email, nico@getboundlessmedia.com. I respond to every single one. It's interesting because sometimes I'll have college students that email me or business owners. So I like getting emails and sending them back. Plus, they offer a great insight into new questions or content. So please reach out. So the book is called We're All Marketers. You find it on Amazon or Goodreads, or if you have a Barnes & Nobles, it might be in there as well.
You have a copy to show us? Do you have a copy there somewhere?
Do I have a copy? Listen, once you're
come on, pull it out, man.
Once you become an author, right? You just always
you always have a copy. It's like your business card, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's great. It's
we're all marketers.
We're all marketers. It's very simple. It's 20 go-to principles to help you market like a marketer. Like I said, it's basically my thesis project, just nice and tangible. So if you are getting into marketing, either college student or small business owner, and you're thinking about, okay, what will be that next step? Or how do I actually learn the foundations before I learn Instagram and LinkedIn and Facebook? Start there. Like very simple things, like stuff like you and I know, Jen. It's like persona. The customer journey, how to get attention, how to, create content. I say the 3 E's, how do you entertain, educate, and engage your audience, how to find a niche, how to experiment at low costs, how to actually reduce your time on social media and still have a high impact. So like I said, it's super tangible. I think the biggest compliment I ever got was, it sounds like Nico's reading it to you. So I guess that's if you like my voice or like that the way it's
Are you going to do an audio of it too? You can sell that.
Listen, I have the audio on there. So
you have the audio. Wow.
Audio. If you want to enjoy, we'll do this, right? Just so your listeners can hear. If you want to hear 4 hours of me talking, not necessarily like that, but if you want to hear 4 hours of me talking,
that is great stuff, man.
Oh, it took forever to do. It took like 30 hours.
That's what I was wondering too. I was like, man, that would take Yeah, that would take forever. And to keep your voice at that same like steady.
It took 5 weeks, a session each week, because I've learned so much about audio engineering. But long story short, it's there as well. And then
so don't laugh at us. Kevin and I might be falling asleep to that Audible. I mean, I'm just like at night we'll turn it on to just listen to Nico. Because actually, do you know that there's apps that actually you can download to help you go to sleep, and that's how they talk?
It's so funny. You know, I'm going to talk about Boundless for really quickly as I pull up. I was actually cleaning out my laptop the other day, and I have some of the files on hand. Let's see if I can find them. Here it is. So we'll just give you some sample. If you're like, wow,
okay, we need a sample.
What does it sound like, Nico?
Tell us the book on audio. Let's hear Nico's book on audio.
Okay, let's see. This is.
Well, you have a nice voice, just so you know. So.
Can you hear that?
Yesterday's gone. Tomorrow has yet to come. We only have today. Let us begin. Mother Teresa.
So stuff like that.
There we go. Well, I was joking when I said to do that, but you already did, man.
Oh no, it's
awesome.
Hey, Mac makes it very easy to pull things up. But
yes.
Yeah. Long story short, Jen and Kevin have a great agency. I probably will tell you to go check out their agency before mine because they do a lot more stuff than we do. We only focus on lead generation and content creation. So mostly in the B2B services space, very niche on what we do. We mostly create content and help people in campaigns on LinkedIn. That's
awesome. Well, we like sending people your way too.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know how much you and Kevin talk about that, but I know that that's our heart to do collaborations, especially with good people. Kevin said he sold on your book.
Oh, I tell him
is it Audible? Go ahead.
I actually just got this shipment in yesterday. I don't know if you can see them down there. I actually owe Kevin a copy, so tell him it's on his way. It's just
we need a copy. I'll get my highlighters out. I've been wanting to use those.
Oh yeah. Well, just for this isn't. I hate excuses. Amazon's just been prioritizing the more non-essential or essentials. Books have been non-essential, so been waiting for the box. So tell him that this weekend I'll send you guys a copy. I think I have the address, but I'll verify. But yeah, you'll get a copy, and both of you are awesome. But yeah, long story short.
Thank you so much, Nico. That's very kind of you. So everybody, thank you so much, Nico. I really enjoyed getting to know you better today. You have an amazing story. Thank you so much for being on here. Thank you, everybody in our audience who have actually been following along today across all the channels. We love you guys. We believe there's a hero in every single one of you. And so go out and impact the world today in whatever way that you have to do that. So thank you guys so much. And Nico, if you want to stay on for a minute, I'd love to chat with you after.
That's perfect. Awesome. Bye, guys.
Bye.